Hello, phenomenal story lovers. Get ready for a new tale of fate, family, and a second chance that will hit you right in the feels. Before we get started, tell us in the comments what city you're watching from. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you believe in the power of a single moment to change everything. Amelia checked her watch for the third time while waiting for the bus. 6 in the morning. And the stop was already packed with people who, like her, needed to get to work early. She adjusted the strap of her worn bag and counted the coins in her hand. Barely enough for a one-way fare. "Hope it doesn't rain today," she murmured, looking at the gray clouds. The bus arrived, packed. Amelia squeezed in among the other passengers, feeling the weight of her exhaustion. She worked Monday to Saturday at a flower shop in the city center, and on Sundays, she cleaned houses to pay her room's rent. She was 25 and already felt old. Her phone vibrated. A message from Daniel. "Running late. Don't wait for me for dinner." Amelia sighed. Daniel was always late, always had excuses. They'd been together for 2 years, and he had never talked about future plans. She didn't even know if he truly loved her. The bus stopped downtown. Amelia hurried off to avoid being late for the flower shop. Mrs. Smith, the owner, didn't forgive a minute's delay. Meanwhile, in the city's tallest tower, Alexander Grant signed documents in his office. From the 40th floor, people looked like ants. He was 32 and owned 3 companies. His suit cost more than many people's monthly salaries. "Mr. Grant, you have a meeting with the investors at 9, his secretary reminded him. "Cancel it," he replied without looking up. "I don't feel like pretending I care today." The secretary left confused. Alexander was known for his dedication to work, but lately he seemed distant. 3 years ago, he had lost his wife and son in an accident. And since then, he lived like a robot. His apartment was enormous and silent. It had a living room larger than many houses, but he always ate alone. He had money to buy anything, but nothing brought him happiness. At night, Alexander stayed awake, watching the city from his window. He saw the lights of thousands of homes and wondered if anyone else felt as empty as him. Amelia, for her part, arrived at her room that night soaked by the rain. Daniel hadn't arrived, and it was already midnight. She heated some soup and sat on her small bed to review her monthly expenses. The numbers didn't add up. She needed to find another job. She looked out her window. From there, she could see the tower where Alexander worked, though she didn't know him. The tower shone like a beacon in the darkness. What a different life that must be, she thought, imagining the people who lived in those tall buildings. Daniel arrived at 2 in the morning, smelling of alcohol. Amelia was already asleep, but his arrival woke her. "Where were you?" she asked softly. "None of your business," he grumbled, taking off his shoes. "I have a right to go out." "Of course you do. But you could have let me know. I was worried." "Don't be so clingy." Amelia turned to the wall, feeling a knot in her throat. Every day she realized Daniel treated her worse, but she had nowhere to go and no money to leave. The next day, Alexander decided to walk through the city center instead of going to the office. He needed fresh air and to see real people. It had been years since he had walked the streets like a normal person. He passed by a flower shop and saw a young woman arranging a bouquet of roses. Something about her concentration caught his attention. She worked carefully, as if every flower was important. It was Amelia, though he didn't know her name. She looked up for a second, and their eyes met through the glass. It was only a moment, but something passed between them. Alexander kept walking, but he kept thinking about that gaze. It had been a long time since he had felt curious about getting to know someone. Amelia also felt something strange. That elegant man seemed different from everyone else on the street. He had a sadness in his eyes that she recognized. Neither of them knew their lives were about to change forever. 3 weeks later, Amelia woke up feeling nauseous. She rushed to the shared bathroom and vomited. When she returned, Daniel was already awake and in a bad mood. "What's wrong with you now?" he asked, annoyed. "I think it's something I ate yesterday," Amelia lied. Deep in her heart, she knew it could be something else. "Well, don't make noise. I have to work." Amelia dressed in silence and went to the flower shop. All morning she felt dizzy and tired. Mrs. Smith noticed her pallor. "Dear, you look unwell. Do you want to go home early?" "No, I'm fine. I need to work." But at 3 in the afternoon, Amelia had to sit down. The dizziness was too strong. Mrs. Smith forced her to go home. On the way, Amelia passed a pharmacy. Her heart raced when she bought the pregnancy test. She knew her life could change in the next few minutes. In her room's bathroom, she saw the 2 pink lines. She was pregnant. She sat on the floor and cried. She didn't know if it was from happiness or fear. She had always wanted to be a mother, but not like this. Not with Daniel. Not without money. Not without stability. When Daniel arrived that night, Amelia had already decided to tell him. "Daniel, I need to talk to you. Not now, I'm tired." "It's important." "What's so important?" he asked. "I'm pregnant." Daniel was silent for several seconds. His face changed completely. "What did you say?" "I'm going to have a baby, our baby." No, he began, pacing. "This can't be happening." "Daniel, I know we didn't plan it, but—" "Exactly, we didn't plan it. And I don't want to be a father." Amelia felt as if she had been slapped. "But it's already happened. The baby is on its way. Then get rid of it." "What?" "You heard me. I don't want children. Never have. I thought you were more careful." "Daniel, this is your child." "It's not my child, and it won't be." Daniel grabbed his jacket and left the room, slamming the door. Amelia was left alone, trembling. The next few days were horrible. Daniel barely spoke to her. He came home late, left early, and when he was home, he acted as if she didn't exist. Amelia tried to talk to him several times, but he always avoided her. One night, after 2 weeks of silence, she waited up for him. "Daniel, we have to talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about." "Yes, there is. This baby is real. I'm already 6 weeks pregnant, and I already told you what I think. Do you really not feel anything? Not even a little excitement?" Daniel looked at her coldly. "I only feel that you ruined my life." Those words pierced Amelia's heart like knives. Over the next month, the relationship became unbearable. Daniel went out every night and came back drunk. Sometimes he smelled of another woman's perfume. Amelia knew it, but she didn't have the strength to confront him. Her pregnancy progressed, and every day she felt more alone. She had no family in the city, and her few friends had drifted away since she had been with Daniel. One night, when she was 8 months pregnant, Daniel came home drunker than ever. Amelia was lying down, trying to sleep despite the baby's kicks. "Get up!" Daniel shouted at her. "What's wrong?" "I'm tired of you. I'm tired of this situation. I'm tired of everything." "Daniel, you're drunk. Lie down and we'll talk tomorrow." "No, we're talking now. I want you to leave." Amelia sat up with difficulty. "What do you mean, leave? I live here with you." "Not anymore. I want you to pack your thing. Get out." "Daniel, you can't be serious. I'm about to have the baby. That's not my problem." "Yes, it is your problem. It's your child." "I told you it's not my child," he shouted, throwing an empty bottle against the wall. The noise woke the neighbors. Someone banged on the wall from the next room. "Daniel, please calm down." "I'm not going to calm down. I want you to leave right now." Outside, it started to rain heavily. The sound of water hitting the windows was audible. "I can't leave in this rain, and not like this." She touched her belly. "I don't care. That rain and that baby are your problem, not mine." Daniel grabbed Amelia's suitcase and began stuffing her clothes into it, pushing them roughly. "Daniel, please think about it. I have nowhere to go. You should have thought about that before you got pregnant." The rain grew heavier. It seemed like a storm. "Get out of here right now," Daniel shouted, pushing Amelia towards the door. "I never want to see you again." "Daniel, please, it's raining so hard. Let me stay until tomorrow," Amelia pleaded, her hands protecting her 8-month belly. "Your child is about to be born." "My child?" he sneered. "That child isn't mine. Never was." The rain pounded against the windows like hammers. Amelia clung to the doorframe. "You know he's yours. We lived together for 2 years, Daniel. How can you do this?" "Because I'm tired of you. Because I never should have gotten involved with such a needy woman." He snatched the suitcase from her hands and threw it into the street. "There are your things. Go with whoever will support you." "I have nowhere to go," Amelia cried, as the rain soaked her clothes. "That's not my problem." Daniel slammed the door shut. Amelia stood under the rain, clutching her belly. The cold water chilled her to the bone. Her suitcase had burst open, and her clothes were getting wet on the ground. She walked slowly down the empty street. Every step hurt. The baby moved restlessly, as if sensing her despair. She had no money for a hotel. She had no friends who could help her. Her parents had died in an accident when she was 18. Her sister lived in another county, and they hadn't spoken in months. She was completely alone. The rain intensified. Amelia sought refuge under the awning of a closed shop. She trembled from cold and fear. A contraction rippled through her belly, and she had to sit on the wet ground. "My God, help me," she whispered, touching her belly. "Don't let my baby be born here." A few blocks away, Alexander drove his Mercedes through the empty streets. He had left a boring business dinner and was driving aimlessly. The rain hit his windshield, and he felt as empty as ever. His headlights illuminated a woman sitting under an awning. She was soaked and hugging something. Alexander drove past, but something made him stop. He pulled over and walked back through the rain. "Miss, are you all right?" Amelia looked up. It was the man she had seen at the flower shop weeks ago. His eyes were still sad, but now they showed concern. "I'm fine," she lied, though she was trembling. Alexander saw her bulging belly and wet clothes. He saw the broken suitcase and scattered clothes. "You don't look well. Do you need help?" "I don't want to bother you. You're not bothering me. I'm Alexander," he introduced himself, though the rain was falling on both of them. "Amelia. Amelia, you're soaked and pregnant. Let me help you." Another contraction made her double over in pain. Alexander was alarmed. "Are you in labor?" "I don't know. It hurts a lot." "You have to get out of here. My car is right there." "I can't accept. I don't know you." "And I don't know you, but I'm not going to leave a pregnant woman on the street in this storm." Alexander picked up her wet clothes and put them in the broken suitcase. Then he helped Amelia up. "Come on, I'll take you somewhere safe." "Where?" "I have an empty apartment near here. You can stay there while you decide what to do." Amelia hesitated. All her life she had been told not to trust strangers, but she was desperate, and this man didn't seem dangerous. "Why are you helping me?" Alexander was silent for a moment, watching the rain. "Because I know what it feels like to be alone when you need someone the most." They walked to the car. Alexander opened the door for her and turned the heater up full blast. Amelia felt like she was in a dream. An hour ago, she was being thrown out of her home, and now she was in the most luxurious car she had ever seen. "Are you sure about this?" she asked as he drove. "Yes, the apartment has been empty for years. No one uses it. Why do you keep it empty?" Alexander gripped the steering wheel. "Because my wife lived there. She died 3 years ago." Amelia didn't know what to say. Now she understood the sadness in his eyes. "I'm so sorry." "Thank you. She was also pregnant when she died." Silence filled the car. Two strangers united by pain and loneliness. Are you sure it doesn't bother you if I stay there? Sure. Besides, I think that place needs someone alive in it. They arrived at an elegant building in the city center. Alexander helped Amelia carry her things to the elevator. When he opened the apartment door, she was speechless. It was beautiful, but it looked abandoned. The furniture was covered with white sheets. I haven't been in here in a long time, Alexander confessed. I can stay in any cheap hotel. I don't want to. No. Stay here. Please. Amelia looked into his eyes and saw something she didn't expect. Need. He needed her as much as she needed him. Alexander turned on the lights of the apartment with trembling hands. It had been 3 years since he had set foot in that place. The air smelled stale and of memories. There are clean towels in the bathroom, he said without looking at Amelia, and bed linen in the hallway closet. Amelia stood in the entrance, dripping water onto the wooden floor. She didn't dare move. Are you sure I can stay here? Yes. You need to change before you get sick. Alexander removed the white sheets from the furniture, as if uncovering ghosts. Each object brought back a memory. The sofa where his wife read in the afternoons, the table where they had breakfast together, the window from which she watched her belly grow. Alexander, are you all right? Amelia asked, seeing how pale he was. Yes, just too many memories. Amelia approached slowly, as if not wanting to scare a wounded animal. I can leave if this is too difficult for you. No. Stay. Please. The word please sounded like a plea. Amelia understood that he needed her to be there as much as she needed a place to stay. I'm going to take a bath then. When Amelia closed the bathroom door, Alexander sat on the sofa and covered his face with his hands. He could hear the water running in the shower, and for a moment he felt transported to the past. Sarah also took baths at night when she was pregnant. She said the warm water relaxed her and helped the baby sleep. The sound of the water stopped. Alexander quickly got up and went to the kitchen. He needed to keep busy. Amelia came out of the bathroom wrapped in a soft towel. She had put on a robe she found hanging on the door. It was too big for her, but it was clean and dry. I found tea in the kitchen, Alexander said, appearing with 2 steaming cups. I thought you might like some. Thank you. You're very kind. They sat on opposite ends of the sofa. The storm was still raging outside, but inside there was a strange calm. What's your baby's name? Alexander asked. I don't know yet. Daniel. He never wanted to talk about names. Is Daniel the father? Yes. Well, he was. He doesn't want anything to do with the baby or me anymore. Alexander gripped his cup. How long have you been together? 2 years. But I think he never truly loved me. He just needed me to cook and clean for him. I'm sorry. Don't worry. I've realized it's better to be alone than in bad company. Amelia touched her belly when the baby moved. Does it hurt when he moves? Alexander asked curiously. Sometimes, but it's also beautiful, as if he's telling me everything will be all right. My wife used to say the same thing. What was her name? Sarah. And the baby was going to be Leo. Amelia felt a knot in her throat. They're beautiful names. She chose them. She said Leo meant gift from God. They fell silent for a while, each lost in their thoughts. Can I ask you what happened? Amelia whispered. Alexander took a deep breath. A car accident. I was driving at night. It was raining like today. A truck ran a red light and hit them head on. They died instantly. My God. I was behind them in another car. I saw them die, and I couldn't do anything. Amelia moved a little closer on the sofa. That's why you helped me today. Because it was raining. Yes. I couldn't let anything bad happen to you or your baby. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without your help. You don't have to thank me for anything. Another contraction made Amelia double over slightly. Are you all right? Alexander asked, concerned. Yes, They're just Braxton Hicks contractions. The doctor says it's normal at the end of pregnancy. When are you due? In 2 weeks. Alexander became nervous. He knew nothing about babies. Do you need to go to the hospital? No, I'm fine. I just need to rest. Of course. The main bedroom is over there. There's a comfortable bed. And where are you going to sleep? At my place. This place is yours now. I can't accept that. Yes, you can. I'm not going to sleep here anyway. Amelia looked at him sadly. It must be very difficult to be here. Yes, but it also feels right. As if Sarah wanted someone to take care of you. Do you believe in those things? Not before. But since she died, I feel like she sometimes sends me signals. Like what? Like finding you on the street just when you needed it most. Amelia smiled for the first time in weeks. Maybe you're right. Alexander got up and went to the door. I'm going to leave so you can rest. I'll come back tomorrow to see how you are. Alexander. Yes. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for letting me help you. Amelia woke up in a bed she didn't recognize. For a moment, she felt lost, until she remembered everything that had happened the night before. She was in Alexander's apartment, far from Daniel, far from her old life. She slowly got up and walked to the kitchen. The apartment looked different in the daylight. It was elegant but cozy, full of details that showed happy people had lived there. On the kitchen table, she found a note. Amelia, I went to buy some things you might need. I'll be back in the afternoon. There's food in the fridge. Alexander. She opened the fridge and was surprised. It was full of fresh fruit, vegetables, milk, bread, and everything a pregnant woman could need. It had been months since she had seen so much food together. She made herself breakfast and sat by the window. From there, she could see the city waking up. People hurried to their jobs. Children went to school. Everything seemed normal, but her life had changed completely. Her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello? Amelia, it's Mrs. Smith. Where are you? You didn't come to work. Oh, Mrs. Smith, I'm so sorry. I had an emergency. Are you all right, dear? You sound strange. Amelia didn't know what to say. She couldn't tell her the whole story. I'm fine, but I don't think I'll be able to work for a few days. The baby is very restless, and the doctor told me to rest. Don't worry. Take good care of yourself. When you feel better, come back. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. When she hung up, Amelia felt guilty for lying, but it was better than telling the truth. In the afternoon, there was a knock at the door. It was Alexander with several shopping bags. Good afternoon. How are you feeling? Good, thank you. But you shouldn't have bought so many things. Don't worry, you need to eat well for the baby. Alexander came in and started taking things out of the bags. Maternity clothes, vitamins, diapers, soft towels, special shampoo. Alexander, this is too much, Amelia protested. It's nothing. Besides, I don't know what pregnant women need, so I bought a little bit of everything. Amelia took a beautiful maternity blouse and held it to her chest. It's perfect. How did you know the size? I asked the lady at the shop. She helped me with everything. She must think I'm your husband. Alexander became serious. I didn't tell her anything, just that it was for a pregnant friend. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Don't apologize. It's fine. They sat in the living room. Alexander seemed more relaxed than the day before. How did you sleep? He asked her. Very well. It's been months since I slept so peacefully. I'm glad. And you? Did you sleep well? A little, but I always sleep little. Amelia studied him. He had dark circles under his eyes and looked tired. Have you always had insomnia? Since the accident. Sometimes I don't sleep all night. That must be terrible. I'm used to it now. The baby moved, and Amelia put her hands to her belly. Does he move a lot? Alexander asked curiously. Yes, especially in the afternoons. It's like he wants to come out and play. Can I? Alexander extended his hand towards her belly, but stopped. Sorry, how silly of me. It's not silly. You can touch him if you want. Alexander slowly moved his hand to Amelia's belly. When he felt a kick, he was surprised. Did he move? Yes, he likes to be touched. Daniel never wanted to feel him. Daniel is an idiot, Alexander said without the... Yes, I suppose so. They stayed like that for a moment, with Alexander's hand on Amelia's belly, feeling the baby's movements. It's incredible, he whispered. It's like he wants to meet me. Maybe he does. Babies feel people's emotions. Alexander slowly removed his hand. Sarah always said that Leo knew when I was sad or happy. She talked to the baby all the time. She sang to him, read him stories, told him about her day. How lovely. Do you talk to your baby? Sometimes, but I feel shy. Why? Because I don't know what to say to him. I don't know if he's going to have a good life. Alexander looked at her sadly. He's going to have a good life. You're going to make sure of that. How can you be so sure? Because I see how you protect him. I see how you love him. That's the most important thing. Amelia felt like crying, but this time from happiness. Thank you for saying that. It's the truth. That night, Alexander stayed for dinner. Amelia cooked with the things he had bought, and they sat down to eat together. It was the first time in months that Amelia had dinner accompanied, without feeling uncomfortable. You cook very well, Alexander said. My mom taught me before she died. She died a long time ago, 7 years. She and my dad also died in an accident. I'm so sorry. That's why I understand your pain. I know what it feels like to be alone. But you're not alone. You have your baby, and you have me. For now. Alexander smiled a little. Yes, for now. At 4 a.m, Amelia woke up with terrible pain in her belly. At first, she thought it was another Braxton Hicks contraction, but this time it was different. The pain was stronger and constant. She got up and walked around the apartment, breathing as the doctor had taught her. But the pain worsened more and more. She took out her phone and dialed the number Alexander had left her the night before. Amelia, what's wrong? Alexander answered, awake at the first ring. I think it's time, she said between gasps. The baby's coming. Are you sure? Yes. Does it hurt a lot? And it won't stop. I'm on my way. Don't hang up. Amelia heard the sound of keys and running footsteps. Alexander lived in the same building, only on the top floor. I'm coming up, he said on the phone. Breathe slowly. When Alexander opened the door, he found Amelia clinging to the kitchen table, breathing with difficulty. How often are the pains? Every 3 minutes, Amelia replied. And they hurt more each time. We have to go to the hospital right now. Alexander grabbed the bag they had prepared days before and helped Amelia walk towards the elevator. She leaned on him with each contraction. In the car, Amelia clung to the seat while Alexander drove as fast as he could. Everything's going to be all right, he repeated to her. We're almost there. I'm scared, Amelia confessed. What if something goes wrong? Nothing's going to go wrong. You're strong. They arrived at the hospital, and the doctors took Amelia away in a wheelchair. Alexander stayed in the waiting room, pacing back and forth. Is he the father? A nurse asked him. No, I'm a friend. Family? She doesn't have any family. She only has me. The nurse looked at him with compassion. You can wait here. We'll let you know when the baby is born. Alexander sat on an uncomfortable chair, watching the clock. 2 hours had passed, and he knew nothing. He remembered the night Sarah had died. He had also waited in a hospital, but that time the news had been terrible. God, please, let this time be different, he murmured. A nurse ran out towards the delivery room. Alexander got up, worried. What's wrong? He asked another nurse. Relax. Sometimes it gets a little complicated, but everything is fine. Alexander didn't relax. He kept pacing, imagining the worst. At 8 a.m, the doctor came out. Mr. Grant? Yes, that's me. Congratulations. Amelia and the baby are perfect. It's a healthy 6-pound boy. Alexander felt his legs give way. He sat down and covered his face with his hands. Are you all right? The doctor asked. Yes, I was very scared. Everything went perfectly. Do you want to meet your son? He's not my son, Alexander clarified. I'm just a friend. Oh, sorry. Amelia is asking if you want to come in and see them. Can I? Of course. Come with me. Alexander followed the doctor down a long hallway until they reached a private room. Amelia was in bed, pale but smiling, with a small baby in her arms. Alexander, she said when she saw him. Come meet him. Alexander approached slowly, as if afraid of breaking something. He's beautiful, he whispered. His name is Leo, Amelia said. I hope you don't mind. I really liked the name your wife had chosen. Alexander was silent, looking at the baby. He had his eyes closed and was moving his hands as if looking for something. Do you want to hold him? Amelia asked. I don't know. I've never held a baby before. It's easy. Just support his head. Amelia carefully passed Leo to him. Alexander received him as if he were made of glass. Hello, Leo, he said softly. I'm Alexander. The baby opened his eyes and looked directly at him. Alexander felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years, a pure and simple happiness. I think he likes me, he said, smiling. Of course he does. Babies feel good people. Alexander stayed like that for a while, looking at Leo and talking to him softly. Amelia watched them, feeling something strange in her chest. Alexander. Yes, thank you for being here. I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you for letting me be here. It's been a long time since I felt so alive. Leo started to cry, and Alexander got scared. What do I do? What's wrong with him? Nothing bad. He's just hungry. Amelia laughed. Give him to me. When Amelia started feeding Leo, Alexander felt like an intruder. I'm going to get coffee. Do you want anything? No, thank you. But Alexander. Yes? Are you going to come visit us? Alexander looked at her, and then at Leo. If you want me to, yes. Yes, I do. Leo is going to need a father figure. Amelia, I'm not his dad. No. But you can be something better. You can be someone who truly loves him. Alexander felt a lump in his throat. I'll go get that coffee. When he left the room, Alexander leaned against the hallway wall. For the first time in 3 years, he felt needed. 2 weeks later, Amelia was in the apartment with Leo. The baby cried a lot at night, and she barely slept. Her dark circles were enormous, and she felt overwhelmed. Alexander arrived every morning with breakfast and stayed for a few hours. At first, he just observed, but little by little, he started to help more. Let me hold him, he said one morning when Leo wouldn't stop crying. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's eaten. I've changed him, but he won't calm down. Alexander took the baby and began walking around the living room, rocking him gently. Sometimes he just wants company, he said. My sister had babies, and I used to help her. You have siblings? A younger sister. She lives in Birmingham with her family. Does she know about me? No, we haven't spoken in months. Leo slowly calmed down until he fell asleep in Alexander's arms. You have a good touch, Amelia whispered. I think he remembers me. Babies recognize voices. I tell him about you when he's restless. I tell him his godfather Alexander is coming to visit him. Godfather? If you want to be. Alexander looked at the sleeping baby and felt something akin to love. Yes, I do. Days passed, and a strange but comfortable routine developed. Alexander arrived early. They had breakfast together. He would go to work for a few hours, return for lunch, and in the afternoons he would stay until Leo fell asleep. You don't have to come every day, Amelia told him one afternoon. You must have your own life. My life is very boring. Here I feel useful. Don't you have a girlfriend? No. since Sarah died.
I haven't dated anyone.
Not even interested? Not until now. Amelia looked at him strangely. Until now what? Nothing. Forget it. But Amelia didn't forget it. That night, she kept thinking about Alexander's words. The next day, Alexander arrived later than usual. He carried flowers. "What are they for?" Amelia asked. "For you. For being such a good mum. Thank you. They're beautiful." While Amelia put the flowers in a vase, Alexander played with Leo on the rug. The baby was already smiling and waving his hands when he saw him. "Look, Leo, there's your mummy," Alexander said. "Isn't she the prettiest mummy in the world?" Amelia blushed. "Don't say those things." "Why not? It's true." "Alexander." "What? Do you think we're a weird family?" Alexander thought about it. "I think we're three people who need each other. And that's okay. Even if we're not family by blood, family isn't just blood, Amelia. Sometimes family is the people who choose to stay with you." That night, when Alexander was about to leave, Leo started crying. "He doesn't want me to go," Alexander said, carrying him. "Why don't you stay for dinner? I made chicken curry." "Are you sure?" "Yes, besides, I've been cooking for days now." During dinner, Amelia realized how natural everything felt. Alexander helped serve. They talked about simple things. Leo slept peacefully in his crib. "Can I ask you something personal?" Amelia said. "Of course. Did you never want to have more children after? What happened?" Alexander stopped eating. "Not at first. I was terrified of losing another child. But lately..." "What?" "Seeing Leo reminded me how beautiful it can be. What it feels like to want to protect someone small. Leo loves you very much. When you're not here, he gets restless. I love him too. More than I should." "Why do you say that?" "Because I'm not his dad. One day he'll grow up and ask about his real dad. His real dad didn't want him. You do. That doesn't change reality. Alexander, look." Amelia got up and went for a small box. Inside were photos from the last few weeks. Alexander holding Leo, feeding him, sleeping with him on the sofa. "When did you take these photos?" "When you weren't looking. I wanted you to have memories of these days." Alexander looked at the photos, and in all of them, he looked happy. In all of them, he looked like a proud father. "Thank you," he said in a hoarse voice. "Don't give them to me. They're yours." That night, Alexander stayed later than usual. Leo had been restless and would only calm down with him. "Why don't you stay here tonight?" Amelia suggested. "On the sofa, of course. That way, if Leo wakes up, you can help me." "Are you sure?" "Yes. It's too late for you to leave." Alexander stayed that night, and the next, and the next. Without realizing it, he began to leave clothes in the apartment. A toothbrush, shoes, a jacket. One morning, Amelia woke up and found Alexander in the kitchen, making coffee with Leo in his arms. "Good morning," he said. "Leo woke up early, but I didn't want to wake you." "How long have you been awake?" "About an hour. We were chatting, weren't we, Leo?" The baby smiled when he heard his name. At that moment, Amelia realized something. She could no longer imagine her life without Alexander. And by the way he looked at her, he couldn't imagine his without them either. "Alexander?" "Yes? Do you think what we have can last?" "I don't know, but I'd like to try." "Me too." They looked at each other over Leo's head, and without saying another word, they knew something had changed between them forever. 3 months later, life had found a perfect rhythm. Leo was already holding his head up and smiled every time he saw Alexander. Amelia had returned to work part-time at the flower shop, and Alexander stayed with the baby in the afternoons. Everything changed one morning when someone knocked insistently on the door. "Who could it be so early?" Amelia muttered, carrying Leo. When she opened the door, she froze. It was Daniel. but he looked different. Thin, unshaven, with wrinkled clothes. "Hello, Amelia. What are you doing here? How did you know where I live?" "I looked for you at your job. Mrs. Smith told me you lived around here." Daniel tried to enter, but Amelia stood in the doorway. "You can't come in. You no longer have any right. I came to see my son." "Your son?" Amelia got angry. "You said he wasn't yours. You kicked me out onto the street when I was pregnant." "I was confused. I was scared. And now, what do you want?" "I want to get to know him. I want to be his dad." Leo started crying, as if sensing the tension. "It's okay, baby," Amelia soothed him. "Daniel, leave. I won't let you hurt my son. He's my son too. I have rights." "You have no rights. You abandoned him before he was born." Daniel became aggressive. "If you don't let me see him, I'm going to go to a lawyer. I can sue you." "Do it. But now leave." Amelia slammed the door shut and leaned against it, trembling. Leo was still crying, and she couldn't calm him because she was also upset. When Alexander arrived an hour later, he found Amelia sitting on the sofa, crying with Leo in her arms. "What happened?" he asked, worried. "Daniel came. He wants to see Leo. After 3 months, he says he has rights, that he can sue me." Alexander sat next to her and took Leo, who immediately calmed down. "What did you tell him?" "To leave. But I'm scared, Alexander. What if he really can take him away from me?" "He's not going to take him away. You're his mom, but he's the biological dad. Being a biological dad isn't the same as being a real dad." Amelia wiped away her tears. "Do you think I should let him see Leo?" "Do you want to?" "No. I'm afraid he'll hurt him or leave again." "Then don't. But judges always favor fathers. Not all of them. Especially when the father abandoned the baby." Alexander became thoughtful. "Amelia, do you want me to talk to my lawyers?" "Would you do that?" "Of course. Leo is like my son too. I'm going to protect him." That afternoon, Alexander called his lawyer and explained the situation. The lawyer told him that Daniel did have some rights, but that the initial abandonment worked against him. "What do you recommend?" Alexander asked. "That you document everything. That Amelia write down everything that happened when he kicked her out of the house. That you get witnesses, if there are any." When Alexander told Amelia what the lawyer had said, she felt a little better. "Mrs. Smith can be a witness. She knows Daniel never wanted the baby." "Perfect. We'll prepare, just in case." But Daniel didn't wait. The next day he arrived with a legal summons. He wanted supervised visits with Leo. "It can't be," Amelia said, reading the papers. "How did he get a lawyer so fast?" "He must have gotten a public defender," Alexander explained. "But we have a stronger case." "We?" "Yes, what?" "I'm going to be with you through all of this." "Alexander, you don't have an obligation to—" "Yes, I do. I have an obligation to protect my family." "Your family?" Alexander approached and took her hands. "Amelia, these past few months have been the best of my life. You and Leo became my family. I'm not going to let anyone hurt you." "Are you sure? This could get ugly." "I'm sure. We're going to fight together." That night, after Leo fell asleep, Amelia and Alexander stayed awake planning their defense. "Do you think we have a chance?" Amelia asked. "Yes. Daniel abandoned his son. We have cared for and loved him from day one. Thank you for not leaving me alone. I'm never going to leave you alone." They looked into each other's eyes, and Amelia felt something she had never felt before. True love. Not just gratitude or affection, but real love. "Alexander." "Yes, I love you." Alexander was silent for a moment. "I love you too. You and Leo." They slowly approached until their lips touched. It was a soft kiss, full of promises and hope. When they separated, Alexander hugged her tightly. "We're going to get through this, I promise you." "I know. Now that we're together, I know everything will be all right." Outside, it started to rain again. But this time the rain wasn't scary. This time, they had a home to protect and love that made them strong. The battle for Leo was just beginning, but they were no longer alone. The day of the hearing arrived faster than expected. Amelia woke up with a churning stomach and trembling hands. She had left Leo with Mrs. Smith, so he wouldn't be present during the legal process. "Ready?" Alexander asked, adjusting his tie. "No, I'm very scared. Everything will be fine. We have all the evidence." They had gathered photos, text messages, testimonies from Mrs. Smith and the doctor who attended the birth. Everything proved that Daniel had abandoned Amelia and the baby. In the courtroom, Daniel waited with a young lawyer who looked nervous. Daniel had cut his hair and wore a borrowed suit, but he still looked disheveled. "Amelia," he called out when he saw her. "We can sort this out without judges. I just want to see my son once in a while." "It's too late for that," she replied, taking Alexander's hand. "And who is he?" Daniel asked, looking at Alexander with contempt. "Someone who does love Leo," Amelia replied. "Ah, I see. You got yourself a sugar daddy." Alexander tensed, but Amelia's lawyer stopped him. "Don't pay attention to him. He just wants to provoke you." They entered the courtroom. The judge was an older woman with a serious face. She read the case quickly. "Mr. Black, you are requesting visits with the minor Leo. Why only now?" Daniel became nervous. "Well, Your Honor, at first I wasn't prepared to be a father. I was very young." "Mr. Black, you are 28 years old. You are not that young." "Yes, but I got scared. I thought it was better to stay away until I was ready." "And now you are ready?" "Yes, Your Honor. I've changed a lot. I want to get to know my son." The judge turned to Amelia. "Miss Green, why do you object to the father seeing the child?" Amelia stood up, her legs trembling. "Your Honor, he kicked me out of the house when I was 8 months pregnant. He left me on the street in the rain. He never asked about the baby. He never cared to know if he was born well." "Do you have proof of that?" Amelia's lawyer presented the photos Alexander had taken that night. The text messages where Daniel denied the baby, and Mrs. Smith's testimony. "Your Honor," the lawyer said, "my client has raised this baby completely alone. Mr. Black only appears now, 3 months later, without a convincing explanation." The judge reviewed the documents. "Mr. Black, these messages are very clear. You wrote to Miss Green that the baby was not yours." "I was confused, Your Honor. I was scared." "And what has changed now?" Daniel hesitated. "Well, I've matured, and I want to take on my responsibilities." "Financial responsibilities, too?" "Yes, of course." "Are you currently employed?" "I'm looking for a job." "Have you paid anything for the baby in these 3 months?" "No, but..." "Mr. Black, why should I believe that you truly want to be a father and are not just here for other reasons?" Daniel turned red. "I don't understand the question." The judge looked at Alexander. "Mr. Grant, what is your relationship with the minor?" Alexander stood up. "Your Honor, I have cared for Leo since he was born. I was present at the birth. I have fed him. I have watched over him when he is sick. For all intents and purposes, I am his father. But he is not the biological father. No, Your Honor. But love is not in the genes. It is in being present every day." Daniel got angry. "He has no right. He's my son." "Mr. Black, calm down," the judge ordered. "Miss Green, Mr. Grant lives with you." Amelia blushed. "Yes, Your Honor. We are a couple." "Since when?" "Officially for a short time, but he has helped us since Leo was born." The judge thought for several minutes. "This is a complex case. We have a biological father who abandoned the minor, but who now claims rights. And we have a paternal figure who has been present, but has no legal rights." Everyone waited in silence. "Mr. Black, I will grant you supervised visits for 2 hours every 15 days, but with conditions. You must find stable employment, you must pay child support, and you must take a responsible parenting course." Daniel smiled, but the judge hadn't finished. "If you miss a single visit or do not comply with the conditions, you will lose all rights. Understood?" "Yes, Your Honor." Miss Green, I understand your concerns, but Mr. Black has the right to try to be a father. Visits will be at a supervised center. When they left the courtroom, Amelia was crying. 2 hours every 15 days, she said. What if Leo gets attached to him? What if he gets confused? Leo knows who his real dad is, Alexander comforted her. And Daniel has to meet a lot of conditions. I don't think he'll do it. You think? I'm sure. Daniel wants the rights, but not the responsibilities. They were right. Daniel failed the first visit because he couldn't find the place. For the second, he arrived 30 minutes late. By the third, he had already given up trying. 3 months later, Daniel disappeared again, this time for good. What an emotional story. Amelia and Alexander show us that true love doesn't always come in the way we expect, but when it does, it can completely transform lives. The way Alexander became the father Leo needed, regardless of blood, is truly touching. And seeing how Amelia found the strength to protect her son and open up to love after so much pain reminds us that there is always hope, even in the darkest moments. If this story touched your heart as much as it did ours, don't forget to like it and share it with someone who needs to remember that families are built with love, not just blood ties. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that will make you reflect on the power of unconditional love and second chances. And tell us in the comments, from what country are you watching us? We love knowing that these stories reach hearts all over the world. Your support means a lot to us.